Right, so we've got the Peugeot 107. We've got driver's side front wheel bearing is noisy at speed. It doesn't sound anything when you turn it just with your hand. You've got to really get it spinning up, but you can hear it inside and it's a real drony noise. So we're going to change it over today. Let's get it in the air. First things first, take off the hubcap and crack off the drive shaft nut. And just to make life really difficult, the nut is a 12-sided nut, so you've got to get a 12-sided socket. It's a 30mm socket, so if you've got a 6-sided one it won't fit. Luckily I managed to find one. Tight. Very tight. Oh, you sucker, that is tight. Beauty. Oh, something's moving. Hopefully it's the nut. Hallelujah. Wow. Oh, that was really tight. Really tight, but we've moved it now, so hopefully the gun will get it now. Bingo. Oh, you a tight little fella. Let's get these nuts, make sure they're all reasonably loose as well. 17mm nuts. Let's get it up. Get it up in the air. So here we go, the job consists, we've got to get this hub, this whole hub assembly off the bottom there. So we're going to have to remove the brake caliper, which is 2 bolts at the back. We've got to remove the ABS sensor, which is down here, which is a 10mm, and hopefully the sensor will come out. That's going to be tight. We've got the big nut at the back, that's going to be tight. We've got to separate the leg from the hub. We've got to take off the ball joint there for the steering off the track rod end, and obviously we've got to release the bottom ball joint. So let's crack on. Oh, there we go. And also the brake disc has got a little bolt in there as well to get the brake disc off. One split pin out. What size is that? That's a 17 as well. So let's see if we can whiz that straight off with a bit of luck. Beautiful. I'm going to turn my nut. So the other option is, if that's really tight, can I get to the plug, the connector plug for this sensor? I don't know. So yeah, you just lift the back and it releases the claws on the clips. Drop that down. Can I see the ABS plug? I can. Okay, so what I'm going to do is disconnect the plug and then just bring the wiring loom and everything out, because I know that sensor is just going to snap off. So let's disconnect this wire. So that's the connector for the ABS plug. Not the first. Pull it down. That's that out of the way. I can get this somewhere back where it needs to be now. Right. Whew. I'll pop them out. You can see that, can't you? Yeah, pop those out. Rubbers. not ideal, but we now have the ABS sensor still attached to the hub, and that will come off with that. Whew. That was tough, wasn't it? Blading thing. Okay, caliper, brake caliper needs to come off. We've got one down here. That was pretty tight, those. Okay, oh, a little bit of a pull, twist and wiggle on the caliper, and away it comes. So now we have a bit more of a clearer view of the job in hand. We've got that out. We've just got to crack off this, get rid of this ball joint on the track rod end. Tie that caliper up. Okay, that's hanging in. It's not stressing the brake pipe anymore. Okay, now we come back to this big bolt at the back. So we've got this chappy here, which is the big bolt, pinch bolt that's holding the strut in. So let's have a little bit of lube around that to start with. And around there, so we can get that out. Oh, something's moving. Oh, it's tight, that is. These are always tight. Plenty of lube around it. And just work it up and down. Up and down. Oh, I think that's going to come. There we go. So nut on one end, 17mm again. Bingo. Gotcha. So just use the pliers, gently pulling it while I'm working it. And it's come out and the threads don't look too bad. We'll clean them before we put them back in again. Okay, so that's the pinch bolt out of there. Now we have just the bottom ball joint to go. Just give that a little tap there, that's moving out, that's good. Okay, spring clip to start with then, let's release that. Right, it is a 19, so spanner it is. Give that a tap, see if we can free it off with the old copper hammer. Oh, it's beautiful. Okay, one castle off there. Now this is the awkward bit. Right. So I got my old ball joint splitter tool. It never fits this, but I've just ground the fork a bit wider, so let's see if it goes in now and works. Who knows? Oh, it's going in. Let's try that. Oh, beautiful. Bingo. Bingo, bingo, bingo. So she's gone. Oh, let's try that again. Okay, that's the ball joint out of there. Bingo. So now that's out, I can get this drive shaft out as well. Push that through. That's the drive shaft out the way as well. Make sure the ABS wire's free. So all I've got to do now is separate the hub. And that's pretty tight. So I could bash hell out of that, or I'm going to try my hydraulic ram if I can fit it in. I don't know if it'll go in or not. Let's have a look. I've got the Clark hydraulic. It's a body repair. It's just basically a ram on a hydraulic pump. So if I get that in, if I can get that in there and that under there, without it damaging the sensor, I can get at it so it don't slip off there. Let's try it on the edge first, like that, and see if that's going to do the job. Yeah, that's beautiful. So now that's locked onto the nut of the ABS sensor, and let's have a look now. I can get some purchase on that. Here we go. She's coming now. Gotcha. Whew. So the old ram's done its job once again. And here we have one hub with ABS sensor still attached. Okay, so we've got to get that disc locking nut there out. Let's see how tight this one is. Tight, very tight. Just actually twisted the end of the bit there. That's how tight that is. I'll have to give that a tap, see if I can't shift it. So from behind, you can actually the ABS sensor, the tip of it just poking out there. So we've got to be really careful when we're pressing this bearing out that we don't knock that. So I got there in the end by tapping and chiseling it round. I'll leave that in there for now. But you just see I've just chiselled that round on the end. Whew. Now we should be able to get the brake disc off. Which leaves us with this hub arrangement now, which is good to be pressed out. So the next step for this, we've got to press this hub out, press the bearing out of the hub carrier. Can't do that without a press, and my ram, I can't mackle anything up to do that. It takes, sometimes can take about 6 ton of pressure to pop one of these out. So I'm gonna have to whiz it down to the local engineer and just get them to press this out, and then I can put it all back together again. It's one of them. It's just without the actual hydraulic ram to do it, can't do it. So we remove the circlip, press the bearing out with the hub, separate the hub from the bearing with the little splitter, press the new bearing back in again. Good as new. Okay, so here we have it. We've got the hub back with the new bearing pressed in. Looking very nice indeed. Nice and smooth. Managed to do it without damaging the ABS sensor, so that's it. Like I say, there's nothing you can do. If you haven't got a press, you can't get these out. You can't do anything about it. You can't hit them out. They're just too tight. But anyway, my bearing's in, so let's get it back on the car. Let's give this a bash then. Let's give this a bash. Because this was really tight coming off. I think I might just put a bit of emery around the bottom of this leg where it's corroded slightly. I'll just get a bit of emery cloth on that and just give that a quick clear. It feels a bit better. Let's bit there at the back there's a little pin at the back of this leg which has got to sit into that ridge there. So that's the important one, and that is directly in line with that there. So as long as that's facing forward there when we get it in, happy days. Just clamp that one in up there, just get that out of the way a minute. Get in there. I can see that marker just coming up at the back. Beautiful, that's just going in nicely now. There we go. The sound changes when you get there. That's lovely. All the way home, right up to the maker's name. That's the ABS wire going back in where it needs to be. Goes up, over, and we'll get that back in at the top. So here we have one ABS wire, one connector plug. I know it's a bit hard for you to see this one. We'll just reconnect those two. That all looks good. I'll relocate this plastic wheel liner. There it is, like that. So let's get this drive shaft up. Better. I can put that back in there. Oh, that's looking more like it, isn't it? That's looking more like it now. Okay, so now I can get the castle nut on the bottom ball joint. Where's that on there? Okay, so we've got the nut for the bottom ball joint has got the recess around it. The nut for the track rod end, the castle nut still, but it hasn't got the recess in it. So it's a 19mm nut for the track rod end. That's that one in. 17mm on the track rod end. Okay, nice and tight again. That looks good, that looks good. Let's get this brake disc back on. So I've got the little grub screw at the top. There we go. Let's get the caliper in. Just release the cable ties that we tied it up with. Get those nuts back in there. I had a late night last night. I don't know if you can tell. I'm putting things on back to front, upside down. I'm only human. Come on, give me a break. Right, so that's them two there. And we've got this dastardly pinch bolt, which I'm just going to whiz up and just clean the threads on that. Oh. There we go, look. That looks better. Bit of lube on it as well, just for a bit of lube for good measure. Just through. Can you see where that's gone? Yeah. That goes through easier, doesn't it? Ba-bam, ba-bam. I'm sure this will be coming off at some point when we put some lowering springs on it. At least I know this side will come off nice and easy. Okay, let's do those caliper bolts up nice and tight. 1, 2. Whew. Okay, so Track rod end is in, caliper bolts, main bolt, clamp bolt, pinch bolt, adapter there, ABS sensors clamped back in, disc. So it's got the centre nut now for the drive shaft, but we can make a start on it. Got a nice new one there. Okay, I think we're nowhere. And then we'll just bash the locking tab down there. There we go, I think we're nowhere. Oh, beautiful. Beautiful that. Happy days. Job's good, and I've just got a couple of clips missing out of this that I broke when I took it off. So I'll pick up some new clips just to hold this liner in a bit better. I need a couple. Okay, the moment of truth. Let's see if she's noisy or quiet. Here we go. Mind you, I say noisy or quiet, it is a Peugeot 107, it's never going to be quiet. Bless it. Great little cars though. I mean, this one's returning about 50 miles to the gallon, which it's really good that. You can't complain at that, can you? Right, here we go. Is it going to be quiet? Is it going to be noisy? Oh, it's silent. The whirring's gone. The whoo as you're driving down the road is gone. It's quiet. It's beautiful. It sounds like a different car. So really pleased with that. What a result. So job's a good one. I know we couldn't press that bearing out, but we managed to do everything else. We stripped it down. All we had to do was just take that and get that bearing pressed, which, you know, it's not a massive expense if you have to have somebody else do that bit for you. But the rest of the job is all done. It's not too difficult. We struggled a little bit getting that leg out where it was corroded. But other than that, pretty straightforward. So if it's been of any use to you, if you've enjoyed watching it, please like and subscribe. And thanks for watching.